Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Samso. Today I've got Christian Price from Resource and Energy Group, code REZ. The interest me was when I saw their tweet come up on where they're working. You're working in the Menzies area, which again in an exploration kind of sense. That sort of got me interested to contact Christian to see if he can come and have a chat. Christian, maybe we can start just maybe giving us an intro to yourself, what you do, and then the company itself.
Okay, brief introduction. I'm the CEO of Resource and Energy Group, or REZ, as our code. Mining engineer by trade. Spent the last 17 years in the mining industry, worked my way through as a mining engineer, 15 years in Kalgoorlie, predominantly around the Kambalda region and the gold mines down there. And joined REZ about 2.5 years ago, and now as a CEO we've been tasked with the growth and the expansion of the resource package in both East Menzies and at Mount Mackenzie and the Radio Gold Mine as well.
I mean, prior to us starting this, we had a conversation about, my sort of liking for exploration, and also never seen Menzies area been mentioned for a while, and that's maybe you just give us an idea of the history of the company, why did you guys choose Menzies?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we first started off with the Mount Mackenzie in Queensland. Then we moved into the Radio Gold Mine near Southern Cross and Bullfinch in Western Australia. And with those two assets, they were a good founding and a base to go into a third area. We were looking for somewhere that was a little bit more sizable of a land package, and a little bit more prospective in terms of growing the company to the next stage. And East Menzies came up through our DD processes, looking for projects. And it was basically the best out of about 20 projects we looked at the time. East Menzies itself is 90 square kilometres of very prospective ground directly to the east of Menzies, so it almost bounds the town on the eastern side. And to the west we've also got the intermittent ground, which has recently been acquired by Kings West Resources. So there's a lot of action happening around the Menzies area at the moment. Geologically it was very interesting. I'm not a geologist by trade, but geologically it's really where the two shear zones that run up the north-south in Kalgoorlie up to Wiluna split off. The Bardock tectonic zone off to the west splits off, and then the Springfield shear splits off to the east where we are at East Menzies. So there's a lot happening geologically, and the historic workings that we found in those areas have either got recent production or historic production. There's over 440 historic mines on that site. Some with recent production. We've got 3 open pit mines and also 2 underground mines with recent production in them. So for us it was had a fair range of different prospects, both underground extensions and open pit extensions as well. So that was really what drew us into the area, was the range of mineralisation that was there, and the different opportunities that we had to pick up and to consolidate as a part of that ground.
So I didn't actually have a good look, but how close are you to the Kukaini district? Are you?
Very close to Kukaini. We're only about 50 kilometres from Kukaini, 50 kilometres to the west, and it's to
the west of Kukaini.
To the west of Kukaini. So okay. we're directly to the east of the Menzies town site.
Okay. Yeah, because obviously Kukaini has got that history, and there was a fairly high grade kind of project mine. Yeah. I think one of them there.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of interest happening in Kukaini at the moment as well, with Metallicity have started drilling around some of the historic gold mines, open pit underground gold mines in Kukaini as well. So there's a lot happening to the east, and also to the west of Menzies as well. There's a bit happening with the consolidation of the land through there, and we're finding really, when you look at the Menzies area and when you look at the processing facilities, there's really an opportunity there to grow and consolidate a lot of these land holdings around the Menzies area. So for us it was really a good opportunity to go into somewhere where no one's really got a footprint in terms of the majors, and we can have a fairly considerable land holding to develop that and grow that further.
I mean, look, that whole Goldfields area hasn't really had much sort of greenfields exploration for a long time. So I think the last big push there was probably in the 90s, where a lot of people sort of went in there and did things. So that's why I said, I got my eye clicked up, and I thought, maybe this make a nice, interesting story. But looking into your stuff, you got this mine there, Radio Hill Mine.
Radio Gold Mine, yes.
Radio Gold Mine.
Yes.
It really reminds me, I've mentioned this to you before, but it reminds me of Daisy Milano in the grades that you have. A lot of people said, 0.5 intercept, but it's 200 grams a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a kind of interesting stuff, right?
It is. It's very hard to explain to people the concept of yes, it might be narrow vein in some areas, but what we're finding is a lot more consistent than originally thought. We originally picked up the mine in 2016. I mean, the historic production out of the mine was 38.5 grams per tonne at 72,000 ounces. So you can't really overlook something like that. From the historic production, we then, it hasn't been mined since 1974, so that production happened from 1917 to 1974. Now we had the opportunity to go back in, there's a shaft there that was 100 metres deep, so we had the opportunity to go back into that shaft and rehabilitate the shaft, put a head frame back onto it, rehabilitate the mine, and then actually bulk sample the underground operation to open up and extend the potential of the underground mine. So for the last 18 months, that's what we've been doing at Radio. We've got all the appropriate approvals in place for the Radio Gold Mine, and we processed 4 campaigns out of Radio Gold.
Okay.
And some of the intercepts that we got from the underground development literally had stopped 5 metres from one of our best intercepts, which was 522 grams at 0.5 metres, and underneath that had another sample, very similar grades at 0.3, so multiple loads within a load package. The one thing that surprised us about the load as well was that it wasn't historically as thin as it was reported to be. We're in areas now where the development stopped. We finished up our bulk sampling last year. Where the development stopped is 50.6 grams a tonne at 2.7 metres.
It's pretty good.
It is, and we've got 2 areas like that at the moment. So we're now looking at the opportunity to expand out the Radio Gold Mine, so to drill the Radio Gold Mine and expand it in terms of looking at mechanised production. We went down there with a head frame and with rail equipment. So we're now looking at expanding it out to mechanised equipment and putting a decline down there. But as a part of that project, we're looking at a strategic partner, and we're currently evaluating options with strategic partners to grow that project while we're still focused on the East Menzies area.
Yeah, I mean, I learned a while back that a lot of these one-man show, two-man shows can pay, and a lot of their systems are quite small, but sometimes you get ones that are quite big. I ran into one a while ago. I mean, there was Second Fortune had a history of good intercepts and high grade. Then you got the Kundana one, which is, I think it's not even bigger than a metre, but
it's one of my first jobs was at Kundana.
Yeah,
so it's very reminiscent of the Kundana system, and also the rally load that the EKJV that Northern Star has with Random Tribune. So to me, that really reminiscent of those loads, because it's really consistent as well. We've followed the load consistently for 90 metres worth of development, and it does meander right on the granite contact, but it's consistent, and it's absolutely fantastic.
I mean, one of those systems, I don't know, Kundana's been around for a long, long time, so
yes.
You never know. I mean, in everything, everyone think you could have a gem, but it turns out to be a lemon, and you might have what people might think is a lemon, and it turns into a gem. So it's one of those things. If it's nothing ventured, nothing gained, I guess.
We've got the understanding and information from the costines that we've dug on the surface as well. We know it continues at least for 120 metres to the south, and we've got holes underneath it. It historically was only mined to 100 metres. We've got holes down at the 168, 170 metre mark that indicate that the load's still present. And the way that mineralisation has occurred, it's not a localised system and structure. So we've got the opportunity now to expand it out with a partner involved to then grow that project, but also then focused on East Menzies.
I mean, the general thinking, I guess, in the market is that the big caps, the mid-cap producers are having a field day with gold price and everything else. Small cap industry is still languishing in raising money and things like that. I mean, you obviously just finish a cap raise and you're out there getting people to do work. What is the market? Has things gone back to what it was in terms of cost? I mean, when everything sort of collapsed, people saying, drill rigs are packed up, you can get this, and it's so much cheaper to drill. What's out there at the moment?
We've found if you've got a good project, the market's there for you. So our challenge at the moment is really explain to the market, and that's what kind of is the exciting part of the next couple of months, to explain to the market what we have, not just at Radio, not just at Mount Mackenzie, but also at East Menzies, explaining exactly what prospects we have, the depth and the range of the prospects we have there as well. So I think for the smaller producers, it's about providing you've got the resource and the potential like we do with East Menzies. It's about then getting it out there to explain what the contemporaries are. And how well some of those contemporaries have gone. Spectrum Minerals has had a fantastic run. They've only got a small operation there, but it's fantastic intersections at really high grades, and it's still extending. You've got the Bellevue story around the historic mines. Everyone knows the Bellevue story, and again, Bellevue was only a small company, and put the meters into the ground and started to drill and expand and convert those resources, and they reaped the rewards from it. So as a part of the project at East Menzies, we've already started drilling out at the Goodenough lode. We announced that a couple of weeks ago, and we've into the first round of drilling at the Goodenough lode, and we're going to start to convert fairly easily some previous JORC 2004 results into JORC 2012 results and get them on the books to grow a couple of our key areas.
I mean, Silver Lake started with a small resource and they raised the money, and a lot of people also said, they can't go too far. I knew they nearly went broke after 6 months.
Yeah.
But
Oh, they're still going. They're still there.
They're still there.
Yeah.
They did really well, and I mean, there were things happen, that you don't plan for.
No.
And I think that's what happened with Silver Lake. But it's the same story everywhere else. Nothing. I mean, look, Bellevue went out and they did something, and what you get. So I guess in this market, you just got to go out and put the money in the ground. That's the key.
You have to. There's no if, buts or maybes about it. You have to prove to the market that you're going to start converting resources, and you're going to have to build on what you've got there available. So I think our challenge at the moment with East Menzies is we've got such a wide range of targets. Where do you focus on first? Get the results, convert those resources, and then expand out to those other opportunities. But you need to have that starting point. You can't spread yourself too thin. So I think that's, from what I'm feeling from the East Menzies area, with both open pit and underground opportunities, we've got a really good range of targets and prospects to let the market know what we're about.
All right, thanks. Maybe I guess things are just starting for you guys. Hopefully, maybe when you got a new series of news and stuff,
definitely
catch up again, have a little chat. But I was, as I said, I keep saying, I mean, you got something interesting out there, and you're doing something that I don't see often, or it's not out there often. But thank you for your time. I really appreciate that.
No,
I hope we can catch up again.
Definitely will do.
All right, thank you.
Enjoyed the chat.
All right.
Thanks.